Welcome back to the most exclusive club on the internet. Today we are talking about lazy people, like us. We are gonna go through an AskReddit subreddit, and we're also
going to introduce ourselves, Missy. This is Terry.
Oh, he wants to introduce.
And this is Roy.
We are introducing ourselves because nobody knows who we are.
Nobody knows who we are. But still, welcome back to all two people who did know who we were.
Two people? No, we have a few people that come back regularly.
That's true.
Now, the issue is we've only put one video up in the past, 4 months.
Yeah, so all two people who came back.
Yeah, no, we've lived 17,000 different lives since we last uploaded. Our lives got really busy and then crazy. But we'll talk about that after we talk about this lazy Reddit thread. Everything is a tongue twister when you can't speak. So, the prompt is, what is the laziest thing you've ever done? And then they edited it and said Reddit loves to pee and stuff. I guess they just means
the lazy thing is everyone saying they're just peeing in something.
No,
so
I don't think they meant. I don't know. I don't know, but I don't think they meant that literally.
I feel like they meant that literally because there's a lot of people who's gonna be like, "Oh, I didn't want to go to the bathroom, so I just peed in this bottle or some shit like that."
Oh, boy stuff.
Yeah.
Ew,
yeah.
Men are disgusting.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever peed in an unreasonable way, like you were just lazy?
Oh no. I have I cannot. No, in fact, I'm so bad where I can't pee even dire situations. What was it when we were doing the tubing, right? And then I really, really had to pee, and it's just this giant
We're in a river.
Yeah, we're in a river, and so it would not matter if I just peed while we're in a river or something.
Peeing in a pool is very different from peeing in a river. Peeing in a river, I don't think there's anyone stopping you.
But I could not do it. I even told myself it is completely fine, but I just couldn't. And so when we finally got out and we finally got back to the restroom. Oh, the relief. Okay, anyway.
And we were there for a while. We were on that river for a while.
Yeah.
It was so low that day. It was not moving at all. This was over in San Marcos somewhere a couple years ago. The river was incredibly low. There was a point where it was so shallow we kind of got stuck on the rocks, so we had to roll ourselves out and then
I think even one or two of us got up and just walked us through it because
you had to. I don't know. Yeah. And then he was freaking out the whole time because there are parts of the river that you can't reach the bottom in. Yeah. And so he thought that he was gonna drown. Okay. He was
you make that sound so dramatic. I did not consciously be I'm gonna die. I just in general am that person of I can't swim at all. And I the moment my feet aren't touching something stable or my body's not touching something stable, then it worries me. Right? So then I have anxiety.
You need an anchor point.
Yeah, I need an anchor point to feel control because I don't have any control with just water.
You gotta have the little bits of control that you can.
Yeah, maybe one day I should take intensive swimming classes, but I'll just have my trauma instead.
I've been telling him he needs to take swimming classes, and I was teaching him how to swim briefly, but then we never kept up with it.
Yeah, and also I'm too tall for most normal pools to really test floating and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. We would have to go to one that's actually deep.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then once it's actually deep, I'm just too scared, so I don't want to. If there's ones that's actually 6 feet, you know what I'm saying? Versus the ones that are 10 feet. Because the 6 feet one, I could tippy toe and then feel I have some way to breathe if I'm
no, but that's not how you swim.
I swim by I will die otherwise.
We need to get you in a kid's swim class. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, with the kids. And
with the kids.
30-plus-year-old man.
And then the parents will just look over and be like, look, son, this is why we need to teach you how to swim so you don't end up like this guy. Okay. That's what we need.
I would rather just drown and die.
And you're going to be over there
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Anyway. We can talk about these lazy people before we talk about my freak out. In general, though, I am not the person who will pee in a bottle so some of these people apparently will.
No, for real. All right. So the first piece of advice. No, it's not advice. It's just the laziest thing you've ever done. My bad. Advice. I thought it was going to be like advice for like how to be lazy. No. It's just stuff that you've been lazy. Mm-hmm. So someone said, I was once on a U.S. military ship having breakfast in the wardroom, which is apparently the officer's lounge, when the operations officer walks in. This guy was the definition of not a morning person. He's still half asleep, bleary-eyed, basically a zombie with a bagel. That reminds me of you. He sits down across from me to eat his bagel and is just barely conscious. My back is to the outboard side of the ship, and the morning sun is blazing in one of the portholes, putting a big, bright-ass circle of light right on his barely conscious face. He's squinting and chewing and basically just remembering how to be alive for today. It's painful to watch. But then zombie OPS stops chewing, slowly picks up the phone, and dials the bridge. In his well-known, I'm still totally asleep voice, he says, "Hey, it's OPS. Could you shift our bar pat? Yeah, 165. Thanks." Then puts the phone down, and then he just sits there squinting, waiting.
I remember this.
And then, ever so slowly, I realized that big, blazing spot of sun has begun to slide off the zombie's face and onto the wall behind him. After a moment, it clears his face, and he blinks slowly a few times, and the brilliant beauty of what I've just witnessed begins to overwhelm me. By ordering the bridge to adjust the ship's back and forth patrol by about 15 degrees, he's changed our course just enough to reposition the sun off of his face. He literally just redirected thousands of tons of steel and hundreds of people so that he could get the sun out of his eyes while he eats his bagel. I'm in awe. He slowly picks up his bagel, and for a moment I'm terrified at the thought that his own genius may escape him, that he may never appreciate the epic brilliance of his laziness, since he's not going to wake up for another hour. But between his next bites, he pauses, looks at me, gives me the faintest sly grin before returning to gnaw slowly on his zombie bagel.
Mm-hmm. He knew what he was doing. Oh my gosh.
I bet you he's done this shit before.
Oh yeah. To think of, yeah, he knew. He did.
I bet you he did. That's crazy.
But that's also like to have that much power. Like,
people just have to like follow what you're saying. Okay, sure. Wonder why.
Yeah. Oh, why do we need to turn? Don't worry about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, in his zombie voice. I can he's probably a lot like you. Like if you were in the military, but you still had the. So you have to get up, but you are not ready to face the day. Like,
yeah,
I can imagine.
I also feel like no. The thing is, okay, like part of me is like I would do that, but would I think to do that? That's like also really fucking smart.
No, it is smart
to remember that. Oh, I could just move this whole ship so that the sun's not in my.
No, that's crazy. Like, who would think of that? That's absolutely insane. That one's at the top. I wonder how many upvotes that has. 13,000.
I've heard that before, so it's definitely a classic. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a classic for this Reddit thread. So if you're a big Reddit goer, you might have heard that before.
Mm-hmm. Or and also, you know, how Reddit stuff will be reposted to every other social media after time.
This one apparently is about Chuck Norris getting him out of a ticket. So someone said, "Do tell."
I feel like this is not going to be real. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see.
This is going to be Chuck Norris.
I haven't read this one.
Yeah.
I haven't read this one. So it says, the year was 2006. I moved to College Station, Texas, homeless and broke, working my day job, barely paid enough to live on, much less save enough to pay down debt to buy a house. And it only got worse. Anyway, I took a job early mornings and late nights driving limos to the airport to make some cash on the side. 4 hours of driving paid about $100 plus tip.
4 hours.
4 hours pays $100. It's like 20 something an hour. That seems so low to me. In today's economy. Anyway.
It's more than I'm making.
I'd usually... Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'd usually have 1 to 2 runs per week. Oh, you know why it seems... I'm getting sidetracked. It seems low because I charge by the hour, but then I have all this work that I do for free.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
so I'm like, if I'm only getting paid a short amount of time and I spent like 2 hours doing something and I'm only getting paid like 20, 30 bucks, I need to just pack up and go home.
Right.
Because I'm doing all this other work since I work for myself. I'm doing all this other work for free.
Mm-hmm.
So my brain is skewed on what 4 hours of work should get me.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Anyway. Sorry. Normally I just get a call that I had a run and that I should just show up. The limo would be prepped and ready except for ice cream and coolers. And I'd do the run. But the office gal called me and told me to come in. Boss wanted to see me. Turns out he had a special run. In this case, it would be an evening run into Bush Intercontinental. And the passenger was Chuck Norris. The ranch that had Mr. Norris had retired to was just south of College Station on the north side of Navasota, almost to Anderson. I don't know any of these places despite living in Houston.
Yeah, no.
Anyway.
I just know Houston.
Right. Well, I need to call a station, obviously. But boss man tells me to play it cool. I'd gotten the gig because I was the only person he could count on not to screw it up. So I pick him up. Big property. He's shorter than I expected and is starting to look really old, but he's exceptionally polite. This was 20 years ago, too.
Is Chuck Norris?
Chuck Norris is pretty old.
Is he still alive?
Google it while I read. I do the normal stand and hold the door to the limo thing. He says he wanted to get there a little early to meet someone in the Admiral's Lounge for a drink, so could I please kick it up a notch? I say, yes, sir. Headed south on Highway 6, when you cross into Waller County, the speed limit drops from 70 to 65 and lower. There's usually a state trooper or a county cop sitting a little past there running laser. It's a bit hilly, so you won't know if there's a cop on the next hill until you crest a hill. I was booking along at 10 over, and since I'd been told to kick it up a notch, I was scouting pretty carefully but didn't actually slow down. And of course, right in the median behind a bush right before 290, where the speed limit actually drops to 55, there was a state trooper that I didn't spot in time to drop the 20 mile per hour from a 3-ton limo without slamming on the brakes. The trooper pulls me over, does the usual license check, asks me where you headed to. Bush Intercontinental, sir. Before I write you a ticket that'll get your Houston livery license pulled. That's what they wrote. I don't know if that's a word. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Chuck Norris told me to kick it up a notch, sir. I got the world's worst pull the other one look. Then Chuck Norris rolled his window down, stuck his head out, and said, sorry, I wanted to get to the airport early. If you want to give anyone a ticket, I'll take it. This was right after Chuck Norris was made an honorary Texas Ranger. The trooper said, that won't be necessary, sir. Slow down and have a nice flight.
That's nice.
I actually really believe that story.
Uh-huh. Which, also, why is that lazy?
Because somebody was begging for it.
Oh, just random. Okay.
It is, I mean, it's kind of lazy of Chuck Norris.
Not really. It's just more, I mean, this is more like another show of power, but, yeah, to be fair.
That's true. That's why the show of power, it's training. Yeah, you're right. That one was words. It was a tangent.
Yeah. But yeah, still. Yeah, at least it was real too. Oh, and I'd like to report Chuck Norris is still alive. I believe it said he was 85 years old now.
So Chuck Norris is living right now?
Mm-hmm. Hopefully he's still living by the time this video actually comes out.
Someone said, I'm too lazy to read this, and I saw the comments. Okay, here I go. Edit, so worth it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find anything that's not that military post or an offshoot of it. That's crazy.
Oh, wow. Yeah. But yeah, there's also the fact that people who are like incredibly lazy are probably too lazy to write down the lazy thing that they did onto a Reddit post.
That's true. That's a really good point. I found one. I used to have one of those clap on, clap off lights in my room. I hated clapping, so I just made an audio recording of me clapping and mapped it to one of the programmable keys on my keyboard.
That is crazy. Oh my gosh. That's some engineer shit for sure. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's 1000% some engineer shit. To like.
I'm speechless.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny though.
Doing all this extra work to avoid doing something you don't really like.
Yeah. The reality is it's not even that hard.
It's not even lazy. It's just avoidant.
Yeah.
That's
Is
so funny.
But at the same time, I'm like, that's fucking genius. I would totally do it.
This next one is something that I do stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
I always heat things in the microwave for 111 or 222 because I'm too lazy to move my fingers to the 0 before I hit start. That's exactly why I just hit the 30-second button all the time. I'm like, that'll give me 1.5 minutes.
I've optimized that because there's the reality of if you press the 1 button, it's 1 minute and then 30 seconds. I specifically thought about how many 30 seconds for this case versus if I just did that and that combo.
Yeah, but I don't want to move my finger.
Okay, that's just sad.
You guys gotta tell us, what are you likely to do? Are you likely to think about how many buttons it takes to get to what you want? Or are you likely to just to try to hit the same button over and over again? Because I don't want to think about it. I hit 1, 2, 3, done. It automatically turns on. I don't have to hit the start button.
I feel like it's also like, if it takes that much effort for you to have the spatial awareness of like 1 to that, it's pretty funny.
You trying to say something to me?
Yes.
I don't think you were about to say that's pretty funny. I think you were about to like call me stupid or something. You about to say something's wrong with my brain?
Something's wrong with your brain. Okay. You're
That's
literally
bullying.
a nail tech that actually does like fine detail work, but then when it comes to like numpad, press the 1 and press the
God.
go. You're like, no, that's too much.
It's way too much. That's why I do things the way I do them, because I need to stop being lazy. But we can actually tangent off of this because you brought up nails. That's one of the things that I've been doing a lot.
Yeah.
To where I have not had time to film. I think the last video we put up, not the last one, but before we had a break, was like late January. And I remember we were going to skip like 1 to 2 uploads because we were busy. And then I had the only thing I can think of as like a depressive psychosis. For about a month I had that out of freaking nowhere. Don't know what caused that. And it slowly like leveled off. And then after that, we just got too busy.
Yeah, because I think for you is you were getting like consistently more clients.
Well, that's true.
And then for me, where I was working, someone left, and then I had to. No, this actually really started in January, December for me.
Yeah,
someone left, and I had to take over their position. And then towards February is when I took on the full load of it, and it got more. So I'm like doing 2 people's jobs. It wasn't even 2 people's jobs.
And then they hired a new person.
No, I take it back because it was 1 person's job, but it was so much. That's the reason why that person quit.
Yeah. It was too much for one person.
Yeah.
But they were considering it her job or whatever.
Yeah. And so then I was doing the 1 person's job that made like someone else quit. And so then that's why after a little bit they hired someone else to help, but then I still had to train that person too, and that was a long process.
And then you finally got them like relatively trained, and then they quit.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm still suffering.
Yeah.
But at least it's not as busy right now, so it helps.
You've got a similar amount of hours as what you were working, but it's just
way more stressful.
The stress level is way harder to like do things on the side.
Yeah. And I think it's like slightly more because there was a time where I could at least like go to work early and leave early. That helped. But now I have to like leave at specifically like 5 o'clock.
Oh yeah, you can't come home early.
Yeah, so even if or 5 o'clock or later, right? And so even if I go in early, then it still wouldn't matter. And if I go in a little later, I still end up staying later. So most days I'm actually working like more than 8 hours, and then I have my traffic time drive home, and then I just don't want to do anything.
Yeah, no, that's fair, because you're not even getting home till like late. And then for me,
what's funny is it's like most people's lives, by the way, but
I know, but we're not built for that.
No.
Neither of us are built for that kind of thing. And then also because we were doing because you were working your full-time job and filming and then editing a little bit, but mostly just filming. Then I was editing and doing obviously the filming too, and then I take longer to get ready too, obviously. And then but like my nail business, which this is good, but also I don't have the energy for this. My nail business picked up a lot, and so now I'm having a lot of new clients, things like that. There's a nail tech nearby who's going through health problems, so her book got way smaller, and so some of the people that she was working on are coming to me now too. I don't know if they'll stay forever. If they go back to her or not, like that's totally fine. But
yeah, we're just busy. What's funny is we're still just about as busy as we've been for this whole time, but we finally now gathered, I think partially we've gathered like the energy to finally film because it's also been a while. And it's like this craving of, you know, it's been a while. We really want to do another video.
In addition to like our actual workload, we've also had lots of people's birthdays. We've had 2 friends get married. 2 different people, well, 4 different people technically, get married, and then have like wedding events and and like, so weddings, birthdays, any of those days that we might have filmed. But so yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like,
and then there's also, we started addressing some health stuff for us too. We finally like booked some doctor's appointments and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And so we were technically getting a good amount done during this time.
Yeah, we were doing stuff. Not to mention me recuperating from whatever the heck I was going through.
Yeah.
Insanity. I really don't know. I have nothing for it. I was a zombie for about 3 weeks. Didn't remember a lot of what I was doing or saying. No, it was crazy. But
was it you like literally have some note in your phone that you don't know the password to because you made a password for it?
No, like, no, I don't remember anything. I was saying like scary stuff. Like I kept saying stuff like scary, like relationship indie stuff, like to him. And then I wouldn't remember it. Like a week later, I didn't even know what I said to him. And apparently I about a few days ago, I found a note in my phone that's locked called Reasons. And I'm like, I know that what's in there is like my psychosis brain lying to me, telling me like, this is why you should divorce or whatever. I know that's what it is, but like I don't even agree because you told me what I told you. I didn't remember telling you. I remember something vaguely. But I didn't remember exactly. And I don't agree with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I know I don't agree with whatever's in there, but I can't get in because whatever password I came up with, how am I don't know.
Yeah.
I left a hint. I don't understand the hint.
That hint was for crazy you. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So maybe if I drop back into a depression later, it'll be better. But this leads into what I've been doing and why I've been not filming and editing, because what I was doing as my little hobby side project is filming and editing. Since January, I think I have read maybe like 35 books.
Oh yeah.
And it is mid-May right now.
Yeah.
No, it's Memorial Day right now.
I don't know why I was like, what were you doing? Obviously, you've been telling me about it this whole time too.
Yeah, I think I've read around maybe like 35-ish books. I read the entirety of Sarah J. Maas, all of her books, every single one. Do I like them all? No. But I finished them. It's Throne of Glass that I don't like. I do love ACOTAR. Crescent City I like. Yeah. I got him to read ACOTAR.
Yeah.
I bawled my eyes out reading ACOTAR. Read Fourth Wing too. Don't like Fourth Wing.
Because ACOTAR, the first book of ACOTAR was during your really depressive time.
The first book of ACOTAR I loved. I loved it. The first half is kind of boring, but I was okay with it because I'm just reading for whatever. So it was chill. Loved the ending. Love Evil Reese. I love Evil Reese.
Yeah, there's a little bit of crazy with that. Anyway.
Book 2, I will say without spoilers. Book 2, because I don't know who's read it, and spoilers are heavy. Book 2 made me cry for like a day and a half straight. not happy tears. You would think it would be happy tears. No, it was not happy tears. I cried for like a day and a half. That's how I really knew that I was in like some sort of issue, some sort of psychosis. It was crazy. And then he's just like at work, and I'm like calling my parents like, can you come pick me up? They thought we got in a fight. You know that? They thought we got in a fight.
I think you told me something about your dad, since he just assumed it was a fight.
And he
tried to like talk to you about like you should still talk to him.
Yeah,
or whatever,
I couldn't speak.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't speak. I had texted, can you come pick me up? And then they took me like on their errands with them. I was like, I should have stayed at home. Why am I on their errands with you? But yeah, then like they were just trying to like offer something. Something. Yeah. They were like, you know, I don't remember what they said. Just random sage advice of like, you know, like it's okay, like this isn't what they said, but like, oh, you know, forgive him or something. You know, like something. He did. That's not what they said. That's not what they said. But like, you know, it was something that I'm like, no, I didn't get in a fight with Roy. This is just for no reason. In fact, all I did was read a book. And it set me off just enough. Just enough. You know?
Yeah.
Also, I might have been a little crazier because we had gas leaks at the time. Like that 3 or 4 week period.
Oh, right.
Wait, do you think gas leaks could have caused psychosis?
Probably, yeah. I don't know. My assumption is you go a little crazy when you have gas leaks.
Yeah, because we had gas leaks in our house.
Yeah.
And like that day, the same day that I finished book 2.
Which, by the way, there's still issues that they haven't fixed and they're just not going to. Like, it's so fucking annoying.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah.
No, but the same day that I finished ACOTAR book 2, what did I do? Oh, yeah. That morning we had to leave our house. So we just sat in the car and I had you read the first one. And then later that day, I went and read a certain section of the book. I hadn't even finished it. It took me a while to actually go back and finish.
Yeah, you took a little bit, but relatively, you took a break.
Yeah. It felt like a long time because I was in like a daze. It was so weird. It was such a weird time because part of that book, especially book 2, is that the main character girl is so depressed and she goes through her depression era. And I was like, wow, she wrote this pretty accurately.
Yeah. Even when I read that, and then like she does another one later of a girl going through depression. Yeah. And like she does it pretty well. It's really
accurate. Yeah. People, it's really rough because at least when you read the book that's later, where somebody's going through a depressive thing, it feels like a lot. Like you're suffering with them. Yeah. But for me, I needed to suffer with her. But at the same time, I was mad. Yeah. I was so mad because like my brain was like, why don't I get a happy ending? Yeah. I'm depressed. And then I don't have this like, what?
I feel like that's spoilers. That's spoilers. Talking about depression stuff, I was gonna say before we talked about even the fact that there's depression stuff involved, so be like, this might be a minor spoiler.
Right. You're right.
And then you're like out here like saying more stuff. Yeah, no.
Okay, you're right. I won't say more.
Yeah. But yeah, basically it's like a world of magic, and so they're going through depression. And then it's also like because
it's a book, so you're gonna have a happy ending, quote unquote.
Yeah. But I mean, it's also like in this like crazy way of like some random like rich dude who's like inherited wealth and power. Yeah. Like came and saved you. Like that's exactly what it is.
It's just like that TikTok I saw where that person was like, I just realized that the ACOTAR is basically just a billionaire romance. Yeah. And that's exactly what it is. Yep. But it's like more fun because it's about magical stuff and there's monsters.
And then they also like, now we're just ranting about the book. Yeah. No, I want to rant about this.
I fully intended to rant about the books.
This one part pissed me off too, is the fact that like they kind of skirt the fact that like you know, actual billionaires just like live off of servants and shit, and like will probably treat them poorly, or like obviously like their lives may not like be that great, but billionaires, a lot of them don't really give a shit. But like how this book skirted that is by being like, oh, the house is magical, it'll just do things for you, so there's not a physical person. And then you don't think about the fact that, oh yeah, these are like rich people who are probably kind of assholes, and like
You think so?
Yeah, because there's still the fact, like, I don't know, there's the part of it that still makes me wonder about how, like, there's that, like, you know, whatever city. At this point, we're getting to spoilers.
Wow. No, don't talk about spoilers. There's no city.
Whatever. Anyway, it's kind of the idea of, like, they try to pretend.
By the way,
like,
it's not a city, it's a court.
What? I don't give a shit about their
court.
terms. Okay. But yeah, like, it's kind of like certain people pretend like, oh, I do everything for these people and I'm so great and I'm so nice and I'm actually like a good person. And then they also sideline talk about the shitty sections of their place. And it's like, you're aware of this shitty section. You're aware of, like, these struggling people.
And you've had 500 years to fix it.
Yeah, and, like, you're kind of, like, still separating that. Like, you, for one, still talk about how you actually care. And, like, the main character will be like, oh, they actually care about the city. But then separately, like, this shit's going on. And they kind of, like, don't mention that except for, like, plot relevance.
We're going to have huge spoiler warning.
Yeah, whatever.
Because you're the one giving spoilers. I didn't give spoilers.
I'm mad now. I will tell you all the details about it. I mean, there was, like, good story to it, but then once I started realizing that, I was starting to be like, I hate these people.
And he read all of the ACOTAR books, by the way.
I think what it was too is like how you felt about the first person going through her depressive episode, and then she got saved by magic, and it's like, well, that's bullshit. It's not the real world. I'm here looking at, I think I got mad more about the second person going through the depressive episode because she got saved by fucking rich people. So she didn't have to do shit with her life except just be like catered and told to, like, okay, do this stuff to be better. She got put in
rich people jail.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, rich people rehab.
Yeah, rich people rehab.
It's true because if that wasn't possible, especially the magic parts where they basically can keep her there.
Yeah.
So she can't leave the rehab, then that's not possible.
Yeah. I mean, and also the fact that, like, the rehab is fucking amazing compared to anything else, and she pays nothing to be in it. You know?
Oh yeah, and she doesn't appreciate it either.
Yeah, because she just wants to be an asshole. But even still, like, separate from her not appreciating, that's like her being her depression, whatever. I'm not, like, being mad as much about that. It's more just the fact of, like, oh, here's the answer to depression. And it's like, now that I'm thinking about it, is this like the author's fantasy if she's going through this depression and she just, like, hopes that there's some, like, bullshit that can save her? So she writes the stories of, like, what can get me out of my depression?
Wow.
Someone go check up on Sarah. Make sure she's okay.
You're a harsh critic. No, because she also wrote Crescent City, and Crescent City's not like that. There are sad people in Crescent City.
Yeah, but it's not.
But it is not a depression-based thing.
And I'll still say, like, it's, you know, especially the ACOTAR series, it's like a good story. Like, it's definitely entertaining and, like, very, like, unexpected stuff and interesting. Like, there are the little parts that piss me off, but, you know.
Yeah, she has some annoying habits that, like, here and there get you,
Yeah.
But
I think overall, I'm also going to be more good. Like, mad at the rich people thing because specifically for the, like, being rich is what got them out of their shit.
And it's not even rich. It's just it's well, they are rich.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's not even the richness. It's the magic and the fact that they have all this power. Yeah. So even if they didn't have money, they can, like, literally still do whatever they want.
Exactly. Which just in real world just equivalents to even more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's 100% billionaire fantasy bullshit. So
yeah. So you read her other series, Crescent City.
I started it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you started
I'm like in it now, and I'm like I'm just powering through.
You were just thinking, like, okay, maybe it's not worth it because certain ways that she was writing it was annoying, like too much fluff, too much going into backstory. But then I had a client/friend text me, and she said, I just finished Crescent City 1. Like, it was so good.
Yeah. And I'm like, fucking like, fine. I guess I'll try.
Yeah, it was like 20 minutes after we had the conversation. Maybe I should just, like, stop. And it was the same book you're reading. And she started after you.
Yeah.
But she went, chop. No, it's good. You got to get finished for the first one.
Yeah.
And if you still hate it, which I don't think is possible.
Challenge, okay.
Yeah. No, I don't think you can hate it after you read the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, if so, then it's really not meant for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like if you hate Akatar after the first and second book, then that's not meant for you.
Yeah.
Because it is good. It's just not meant for you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that I read that I'm like, this is not for me.
But yeah, I don't know. I have to power through it because that's the thing that Sarah is doing, where she would tell you like, oh, here's the event, they're having this conversation, but every single new thing that happens in the conversation that you wouldn't know about, she then proceeds to go into this paragraph about what that thing means.
Yeah,
and
like two new characters get brought up. Then she goes into the one character, and then she goes into the next character, like their whole backstory.
Yeah,
who
so
they
like
are.
this conversation that's like, oh, this conversation's probably this long, but it gets extended so much because she has to be like, by the way, here's everything about this. By the way, here's everything about this. And it's like, I'd rather just like figure it out from context rather than you like outright telling me in the middle of everything that's going on.
Right.
Because the whole time she's like talking about that, I'm just like, I don't give a shit. Just tell me the next thing they say. Like, it's kind of like, it's probably because I'm impatient. I don't know. But yeah. I mean, supposedly the payoff is great, so I'll get through it.
I do. I think, in my personal opinion, not that any of them are bad, but I think the second Crescent City book is the weakest. And I think I liked the third the best overall. Because the first gets caught up on a lot of like whodunit stuff. And then she also has to just pelt you with all of this lore. She just pelts you with it.
Yeah.
But in the third one, the lore she pelts you with is building on other things and way quicker paced. Book 2, I feel like the pacing needed to speed up a little bit. But other than that, I do like that series. I think that it's good. So back to what we were originally talking about. I was very okay with going out of context today.
Yeah.
That's okay. We knew today was going to be a little. What have we been doing? What have we been up to?
Yeah.
I still want to show you guys my nails at some point, but I'll do that later in the video. So, back to being lazy. Someone said they shot 10 Nerf darts at their light switch from their bed. Missed all of them and slept with the lights on. I have definitely done stuff like that before. Maybe not that exact thing.
But try to like throw something in the light switch and then be like, I don't care enough and go to sleep.
The person underneath says, solution: if you never turn the lights on, you don't have to turn them off.
Oh, that's
big brain.
Very sad brain. Yeah. Yeah. Never mind.
Someone said, I once laid in the bed so long they turned the lights off for me by non-payment of the bill.
Oh, that's just rotting at that point.
Yeah, that's rotting.
Yeah.
Are you now fused to the bed?
Yeah.
That's crazy. There's a lot more on there, on this thread, but we're not going to have this video be like 1,000 years long. So we'll link it in the description.
It's already 100 years long right now.
It's what?
It's already 100 years long right now.
You're 100 years long.
I am old, but not that old.
So anyway, I just wanted to show you before we go what I've been working on. Here's some sets of nails that I've done in the last, I don't know how far back I'll go. Let's say a year or two. I don't know. Just because, I don't know. So I'll just show some fun ones. Not all of them.
Yeah.
My friend just had me do a cat's anus on her. So that was last week. And then her set before that was this one. Very gorgeous. It's crazy to go from this to that. She's crazy.
It matches her personality perfectly.
Oh yeah, she's thrilled. She has 2 cat butts, and they're like this so she can flip people off.
Oh, nice. Oh, right. It is on the middle finger.
It's on the middle finger, and we did it facing her so she can look at it like that or flip people off.
Perfect.
Yep, it's perfect. Anyway, thank you for joining this video and hearing us yap about random crap and what we've been doing. It's, again, it feels like a lifetime since we filmed, and I feel like I'm a different person than last time we filmed. I don't know.
My thing is, I know I'm a bigger person because I need to go back to the gym.
Oh yeah, he's been getting stress weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have too, but not from my job. Just from the fact that my job takes up more time, so now I'm not doing stuff as much, which I think a lot of people can resonate with. Because if you're at your work, how the heck are you working out?
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, we're working on getting the sleep apnea. We're working on getting the allergy shots. Very exciting. Very happy. Hopefully in this summertime, I don't know. My nail business is still picking up a lot. I'm still working a lot. But I'm hoping to do regular videos again. We'll see. We'll see how often we do it. If it's regular or if it's just every now and then, we'll do our best. Until we're making money from it, we can't really prioritize it. So, yeah, it is what it is.
Everyone, get all your friends to subscribe. Well, how much we need the subscriber count, because we can kind of hit the watch time, right?
Watch time is easy to hit for us. Yeah, all we have to do is have videos that get any sort of views. But for subscriber count, we have to have 1,000 subscribers, or I can't get monetized.
Yeah. So tell all your friends to subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe it.
Subscribe it. Well, is it subscribe it that we learned is the word? I forgot.
Subscribe it. Yes, is subscribe it. Subscribe it.
Click the buttons.
Subscribe.
And like Screeby too.
Like Screeby?
Like Screeby?
Like Screeby?
I don't know. Like the video.
Oh, like the video. All right. Like the video. Share. Not that. Imagine someone sends this video to their friends. They're going to be like, who are these people?
Yeah.
Why do I care about their life? Yeah. Anyway, I'm too lazy.
Maybe for the rant, the Akator rant. We'll see.
The Akator?
Akator.
Akatar?
Akatir.
Akator. We never actually said the name of the series once.
Oh, yeah.
We just kept saying Akatar.
What is it? What is it?
You don't know the name? Yeah.
Why am I forgetting the second word?
It's a C.
Yeah,
I corrected you on it earlier today. It's not a city. It's a
court.
Okay.
Of a court of thorns and roses.
Yes, a court of thorns and roses.
Yeah. You would think I remember the title of the books that I. Also want to reclarify. By read, we mean audiobook, because I am not reading it. I'm just listening to it on the drive to and from work.
Same. I am an audiobook gal, and I listen on usually somewhere between 1.2 and 1.3 speed, which is very, what's the word? Controversial. Some people think you shouldn't speed up your audiobooks, and then some people listen to them on like 2.5, which I think is wild.
Well, gosh. Yeah. I can't keep up with that much, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so hopefully you've read Akatar, so we didn't ruin your life. We had some very mild spoilers. I don't know.
I was just tell them who dies.
Maybe one day we'll actually end the video like we said. Bye!